Yes.
Sure.
Able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, we can start.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Can I start? Yeah. So, good evening, all, for the session on day two on Nagios. Day one, yesterday we saw about ensembles, all right, and Jenkins, right? How ensembles and Jenkins are used, and in especially in the context of streamlining the operation using DevOps, right? Using DevOps. And in today's session, we are going to see more about yesterday we saw about continuous integration and continuous deployment. Hope you remember the infinity symbol, right? How from creations, then how do you develop it, code it, then make it as a package, then monitoring. So the end of it is monitoring, right? How yesterday we were seeing an example of how we keep upgrading our mobile phones, right? Because of the features, new technological features, and that comes through monitoring. Do you agree with me? You monitor this feature is not updated on my. If it is there, it will be even more better. That may make my work easier, right? In every gadgets, we always compare and then we monitor, right? The word comparison and monitoring goes together. So it at the end it both speaks about the uh, at the end it speaks about the efficiency, right? It speaks about the efficiency. That's what we were seeing it, right? And first we started Ensemble, Jenkins, that is integration and deployment. Today we are going to see about Nagios, which is monitoring tool, right? Which is a monitoring tool. So yesterday it was integration and deployment, and today we're going to see about the monitoring tool that is Nagios, right? And hope yesterday's session you'd have understood, because it's not hands-on, right? You would have understood how the basic concept, but most of you said you were new. Only two of them have already worked on with that, right? And today, let's start working. I hope my screen is seen to you. No, let me share my. Uh-huh. Now, is it fine? So, once again, I'd like to thank the Presidency University, the School of CSE and IS, and all the coordinators for arranging the session. So, let's start with the game. All right. What would be the next three letters of the sequence? Answers on chat, please. Quick. Thank you, Ankita. You are right. All right. Can you unmute and say? Yes, a big round of applause. Congratulations, right? So you really did well, Ankita. Right? So that's O, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The next letter is ENT. It's 8, 9, and 10. All right. Let's move on to the next question of the day. Can you solve this, anybody? 2 plus 1 equals to 12. 2 plus 2 equals to 16. 2 plus 3 equals to 20. 5 plus 3 equals to 30. What is 2 plus 5? Yes, please. Answers on chat. Orika. 28. Thank you, Balu. Syed says 40. Balu, can you unmute and give me the answer, please? Explain the answer, please. Hmm. Yes, exactly. That's the right answer. The logic is a plus b into 4. So 2 plus 5 into 4 is 28. 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 fours are 12. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 fours are 16. 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 fours are 20. And 8 fours are 32. All right. Thank you. Congratulations. I'm happy that most of you are today, Baulu and Ankita, answered really well. All right. Uh, that's what we kick started. So moving into Nagios, I said yesterday we saw about integration tools, right? And deployment tools, or you can also say this delivery tools. And today we are going to see monitoring. You these three go hand in hand, right? You have to integrate, then deploy, then monitor. What would be, I want you all to answer, everybody, we have just 22 people over here, or 23 people over here. I want everybody to answer what, not in general context, right? In general context, what would be, listen carefully, what would be the output of monitoring? Anything. What would be the output of monitoring? Yes, please. See, monitoring. You, these three. What would be the output of monitoring? You get information. See, you for a very simple example, if those are possible, you can keep your cameras on so that it looks good, right? We have so many people. Shake always, I can see. What about others? I've never seen other faces. Can you keep your cameras on? All right. And especially others, if you could you can keep your cameras on. And what I'm asking, if you are writing your exams, I hope you have exams in your college, right? You write your exams. Yes. Do you have faculties monitoring you during your exams? Why do they have a monitoring process? Why there is a monitoring process? They check for error. Yeah, they check for errors, right? Generally, they check for all the monitoring tools, they check for errors. The best example is our parents, right? Our parents are best monitors, right? Where are you going? Where are you coming? What are you doing? Because they all love you so much, and that's what monitoring tool generally, whether it is parents or exams or whatever it is, it it tries to find, is there any errors at the end of it, right? Is it functioning well, or is it or there are errors? Same way in DevOps, Nagios tool, right? Nagios tool is used, it's a monitoring tool. It is used to find whether the system, because it's continuous process, automation process. Yesterday I said its entire thing is automation, right? I gave an example of how we have motors for water at home, right? And if it is automated, it does it. But if it is not going to work properly, then the water is going to keep on overflowing, right? And this monitoring tool is used to find any errors, or the software has not been working properly, or anything to be done, and it probes to find whether things goes on well, right? Things goes on well. Same, it's a powerful monitoring tool that enables organization to identify and resolve IT infrastructure. Anything has to be changed, right? It's a software applications, right? In general, it's a software application on various, it could be the server, it could be the networks, the application, the services or process. I told you, right, this is very, very important. It can alert you of any problems or failures that may affect system functionality or performance, right? Some applications, right? Some software, especially, right? How do you get your results in Presidency University? How do you get your results, exam results? How do you get your exam results? I'm getting answers only from Sheikh. What about others? You're just connected or you're not? I got answers from Ankita. What about others? Syed, so many of you are here. Rahul, yes, please. Website of university. You get results from, yeah, through the exam portal. Do you get 10 step when the results are announced? Yes or no? Give answers on the chat. Yes, you all get 10 step. Yes, Rashmi says yes, right? Suppose on the day the result is announced, but your website is not working, what will happen? Right? Other days you don't even visit your website, right? You don't even visit your website, whatever it is, whatever is the event. But when it's so personalized to you, you visit your college website, and if it is not working, and even suppose that, say for example, if your exam results are announced after your college hours, maybe 6:30, 7:30 p.m., how your college is going to resolve, right? For automations of that, we use Nagios, right? Any problem, it affects your system performance or metrics, right? So starting is this phase. You plan how you're going to develop your software, right? You code it. For coding, you used it, Jira or whatever it is, and then, or Eclipse, and build it using Apache Ant or Maven or Gradle. Then you test it using Selenium, or you yesterday remember UAT. Can anyone of you answer what is UAT? Yesterday I asked you UAT. User acceptance test. That is unit testing, right? So the J unit. And you remember when you release, you use using Jenkins. From Jenkins, it can directly go to Docker, or you can go through ensembles also. So for release, you use Jenkins or Bamboo. For deployment, you have application Puppet Chef, Ansible, and SaltStack. Yesterday we saw about Ansibles and how you operate on it, how the products are working. And can you see the monitoring phase here, right? The monitoring phase here using Nagios, or there are so many tools, right? Spudix and sensors and new Relinks, and we are going to see about Nagios. So yesterday we saw this blue part of it, we are not seeing, right? Yesterday we saw about the release using Jenkins and deployment using Ansibles, and the next phase is monitoring using Nagios. Can you able to understand the pipeline of the flow of DevOps? Yes or no? Yes, no? Yesterday we started with Jenkins, then we moved on to Ansibles, and today we are into Nagios, right? So this part we are in monitoring, because monitoring is very, very important for the effectiveness of any software that you're developing, right? So who owns Nagios is this person. He's called as Ethan Galsat, right? He founded this enterprise Nagios in 2007. He created and then what is Nagios in 1996. He uses the ideas and architecture of his early beginning, which runs under Linux OS system. And 1999, he made the plugin which was originally distributed at the part of, this was its original name. It's called NetSaint distribution. Okay, NetSaint distribution, and then they soon separate as Nagios plugins project. So in 2002, Ethan renamed the project as Nagios, but initially it was called as NetSaint. Okay, initially it was called as NetSaint. All right, and then it became the Nagios became SourceForge.net in the month of June 2005, and Enterprise, the first commercial Nagios 11 in 2009. In 2012, it was renamed as Nagios Core. Okay, it was renamed as, now this is the history of Nagios, right? This is the history of Nagios. Able to get it? So Ethan was the one who founded this, who started this enterprise, and it was started with NetSaint. Eventually, it was changed at Nagios, and the new name that was given in 2010 is Nagios Core. And we are going to see the different components of Nagios that is being used. All right. So why Nagios? Okay, listen to the session. Like yesterday, we'll also have a multiple choice question to be played at the end, and let's see who will be the winner today. All right. Again, Nagios offers features and making it usable by large community. We are going to also see about the different case studies, right? Get different case studies, right? And what are the features? It can monitor databases. Right, I said, right, using monitoring, you can monitor your servers, you can monitor your systems, you can monitor databases, whatever components, right? It can monitor databases such as SQL Server, Oracle, or MySQL, or Postgres. Now, let me ask a question to the students. You're all computer science, right? You're all computer science students, second year, third year, fine. Put it onto the chat. What are the databases that you've used? You're hands on. Don't type what names you know. I want you to type what are the databases that you've personally worked on with. MySQL, thank you, Hansika. Others. SQL, all right. Then there are 27 people. Otherwise, I have to assume others have switched on your system and you have moved away if you're not answering to this question. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Sheikh. What about others? What is the tool, the BMS tools that you worked on with hands on? Like Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, good, good. It's a no SQL. MySQL, good. Rishi has worked on MongoDB, which is not only SQL, right? What about the others? What about others? We have 27 people over here. What are the databases you have used? All right. And using Nagios can monitor your databases, right? Databases. You would have learned to put save points, commit, and all, right? Is it working to the updation? Some applications are very, very sensitive with time that gets updated, right? If you see the cricket live scores on mobiles, right? Every second, right? Every ball you can see the values are getting updated, right? If it is not going to get updated, you will not see it, right? So which is always connected with the database, and it has also been monitored. For example, I'm giving you, right? So time sensitive applications, every microsecond information is also so much needed. It gives application level informations like with Apache, Postfix, right? And it provides active development, and it has an external support to huge activity community. And the best of it, it is free, and it can run on any operating system. It can run on any operating system, and it can ping if host is to find remote system. Yesterday, you remember, can you tell which tool used SSH to find a remote node is alive or not. We saw about Ansible and Jenkins. Which one? To find which one used SSH to find. Yes, thank you. Good, Hansika and Sheikh have answered. Right, what about others? Yes, Rishi, yes. You remember it's totally agentless. We connect it with your secure socket, right? And then, secure shell and find whether the remote host is available. So, and also to find, suppose if the host is alive or dead, or sometimes when you use your system, also it gets stuck, right? If it is heavily loaded, sometimes you go to the task manager and go and check it out, right? And even those things, right? Monitoring, because IT infrastructure is going to be huge with so many systems, right? With so many systems, and figuring out also it uses, right? So this is the architecture of Nagios. This is the architecture of Nagios. See the center part of it. The scheduler executes the plugins, right? So here, if you see, you have a process scheduler. Have you learned about different schedulings? An operating system. Have you learned a paper called operating system? Yes, no? Ha- no? Have you learned about schedulings? First in, first out, last in, first out. Round robin method of scheduling? Yes, no? Yes. Right, you learned it. You all will be learning in operating system. What is first in, first out? Especially when you stand in a queue, right? When you stand in a queue for railway reservation, who comes first will be first out, right? What is last in, first out? If you have a rack of biscuits, right? What biscuit is kept last will be taken first. That is example of last in, first out. Round robin method. Yes, every process will be given equal number of times. If it is 4 seconds, if you're going to have 10 processes, all the processes will get 4 seconds, and the next, after the 40th second, the first task will be able to execute it, right? Like that, you've got different. That's round robin. Say for example, if I'm going to have five tasks to be accomplished, this task will be given 5 seconds, 5 seconds, five. Next 5 seconds, the remaining will be done. If one job is done, then it will be closed down, right? How I'm allocating the job, giving equal preference. And there is another scheduling called priority scheduling, which is given more prior will be that job will be executed first, right? Why I'm explaining, because here in monitoring we'll be working with the schedulers too, right? The main core is your schedulers that runs on a Nagios server, and it has got different plugins. So here, when scheduler executes the plugins, it goes to your remote machine plugin status from your remote host, right? And then it gives plugin, sends the data to Nagios to the process, and you have your web interface, updates your GUI, and intimates your admin whether the remote node is alive or not. All right, from your plugins, checks the status, and you get the result, sends the result to Nagios process, right? So here it checks, and also it notifies your admin, and it notifies your admin. This is how your GUI looks like. How can you see your GUI? Right, it has the nodes and checks the users. Can you see here they have a virtual machine on this, and it's critical. Yes, can you see the red line here? And here onto the next system, it is webprot 03, webprot 04. You have Zen virtual machine, and there's a warning over here. All right, and this web 04 05, Zen, it's working properly with the Zen hypervisor virtualization. Hope you are learning on cloud computing. We learned something called where you would have mandatorily learned about virtualization and hypervisors, right? I don't know which lab you have tried hands on with that. So this is how your Nagios web UI looks like. So the admin at one place will be able to find, and a green, it always has bright colors. Red is critical, and yellow is warning. Does it look similar to your traffic signals? Red, orange, and green, right? So whatever is critical alone, they'll be able to like one IT infrastructure person cannot go and monitor all the remote process, right? In sitting in one place, you can monitor the different memory usage and different tools also. And This is how the Nagios code GUI looks like. And when you come to this, you have Nagios, which has got its plugins. And what is RRD database? And the status of it will be given in the browser. That is what I showed you, UI. And also it can be sent to mails or to SMS or to mobile. And it can the monitor using the database servers through switches and applications. Right, the center component is your Nagios. Anywhere anybody has got an idea what is RRD database? RRD database. Yeah, RRD database is round robin database. That's what I said. Round robin databases, right? RRD database is your round robin database that is used in Nagios, right? So it keeps monitoring at a particular time, different same time seconds, and how the different processors are being used, checks every processor. It cannot dedicate its one time to one system alone to check, because that is what it's monitoring, right? It has to monitor all the different, and the database that it is uses RRD, which is round robin database, right? Round robin database. Is it clear till now? Any doubts? Yes, no? Some of you are very silent listeners. Yeah, Ankita, I can get answers. There are some, Hansika, yes. And there are some people I've never got any answers. I think they're very, very silent listeners. All right, good. No doubts. Thank you, Mohammed. Yes, Rahul. Harshavardhan. Thank you. All right. Because understanding of your concepts is very important. Once you understand the concept, eventually you can start working on your hands-on sessions, right? And the architecture is it works in you can see Nagios, one side is an object and other side you can see the status of it, right? Here also you can see a UI onto the right side of it that's taking off the plugins, right? It works as client server architecture. Remember, Ansible was agentless architecture. There's no agent in Ensembles, agentless. It will create a secure shell and then it computes its task, right? In Nagios, it's a client server architecture. The network on Nagios that is running is the host, and the plugins should be monitored. That's already clients. So you have the scheduler. I said different schedulers, right? That you'd have learned on operating system. It sends signals to execute the plugins at the remote host, right? And gets the status from the remote. The plugins gets the status from its remote host, what it wants. I showed you in the GUI, right? Whether it wants the memory usage or the current load. If the load on one system is more, it will remove it and allocate to another node which is less weighted. That is called task scheduling mechanisms. That is task scheduling mechanisms. All right. And here you see, and the plugin sends the data to the process scheduler, and once it gets the updates for the admin to monitor it, it is sent into your GUI. This is how your GUI looks like, right, of Nagios. So, what are the major components of Nagios? Or first is the central component scheduler. On the left, it is a GUI. On the right, it is your plugins, right? The scheduler is a server part, right? And here it checks the plugins at regular intervals of time. That is what, because it is at regular intervals of time, listen very carefully. That is what it is using round robin databases. All right. RRD, you remember it, right? That is what it uses, your round robin database. The GUI is a graphical user interface that has been always monitored by your admin, right? It's a user interface, right? Which is displayed like a web page, right? Red, green, or whatever it is, a graph or a sound, something also can be given. When the button of the green becomes red, it returns an error on volume. It is generated by CGI. You know what the CGI? Anybody? What is CGI? Answers on chat or you can unmute. Okay, it is. No, it is not computer generated imaginary. It is common gateway interface, right? Common gateway interface, right? CGI is common gateway interface, right? When you search in Google, it gets computer generated imaginary, but here it is a gateway through which it figures it out, right? That is a gateway through which it finds it out. That is what it is called. Common gateway, right? Common. There are various status of CGAs, right? Various status of CGAs are available, right? Common gateway interface, right? Common gateway interface. All right. Good. And the plugins or the components that detects the service. What if you want to have a memory usage, then the memory plugins will be used. Right? If you want to find the hypervisor, the hypervisors plugins will be used. So this is an example of Nagios plugin. CheckNT is a plugin to monitor a window machine which is mostly available in the monitoring server. So from monitoring server, there is a plugin called CheckNT, right? It and NSTT client, right? NS client TT should be installed on every Windows that it wants to monitor. So from CheckNT plugin, all right, it will make a secure connection with the NST. This is your remote machine, right? And will be there is an SSL connection, and the host continues to check whether the CPU you want to monitor, or the memory, or the disk space, or the processor, or the services. All right. This is how Nagios from the monitoring server you have a plugin, and it connects to the plugin of your remote server. This is CheckNT, and onto the client it is NS client. Can you see here from this plugin CheckNT to your client? NS client. So that will be running on your remote machines. It will be connected using your SSL, and then that will give you the status of your CPU or processor, memory, or load, whatever it is. Is it clear? All right. Let's move on. How? Uh, can you see Nagios website, please? Are you able to see Nagios website? Yes. No? Yeah. Okay. So this is a website nagios.org. I will give the link on your chat. I'll give it on to your chat. So here it's a open source standard and monitoring, right? So it's a original open source developed and supported by hundreds of community. See, you can see who are their commercial customers: Ford, Comstant, Old Dominion, Salesforce. It's again GE, right? And no matter whatever in the industry you have got different component commercial solutions. It does it look like a dashboard? The more this is for Nagios 11, right? Monitoring so entire IT with powerful monitoring tools, like which is loaded. You can see like a pie chart or a line graph or a bar graph or accordingly for log services to find, right? Then Nagios, no, these are different commercial solutions that you need to understand. For network analyzer, right? The bandwidth is skipping or sometimes it is peaking, and also it finds the net flow data analysis. That is Nagios network analyzer. And the next component for commercial product is Nagios Fusion, which gains a centralized visual application of faster problem solution over your network time, right? How the problem should be resolved, right? I told you, right, on the day of your results, if if your college website is not working, then other days it's fine, but during your result time it is much needed, right? It's much needed. So that is Nagios Fusion. So the main is Nagios Core, Nagios plugins, and Nagios frontend. So this is how Nagios Core looks like, right? It's a monitoring tool, right? That's the core of it, right? You can download from this versions, and you've got user documents. This is about Nagios Core, right? Nagios Core. the developer tools, and these are different node nodes like 11 if you want, or you want to core, and you can see Nagios plugins, right? What are the different plugins for your server? So from your server to your remote machines, and also the front end is your, this of the front end looks like. I showed you one example, right? You remember the green, red, and if it is for log servers, or it's Nagios 11 or network analysis. All right. There are different themes, right? There are different themes. There's an alternative web interfaces, dashboards. Generally, you have three colors: green, red, and yellow. If it is to be used by, it also supports iPhone, Android, and more. You can see it. You're able to see to it. And in your downloads, you can see if you want to download Nagios, monitoring tool, or log server, or network analyzer, or Fusion. This is open source. Open source. There are 50 plugins here, right? There are 50 plugins. You can click it on. You can see what are the different plugins available. Because I showed you an example at client plus plus and NS, and then it will be getting connected. And this is the page of your Nagios plugins, right? Let's see, today is November 28th. The last post was November 16th. So Nagios plugin 2.47 versions are there. Different projects on core and configurations tools. And in general, Nagios is used for monitoring. Front end is for web UI, plugins to connect with your remote system, and your server is your Nagios core, right? That's your Nagios core. And you have got a documentations where you can see to it. Everything is given in your documentation. The different guides of the monitoring configuration has to be done for Fusion, for network analyzer, and supports. Can you see? Documents are given here. Able to get it? How you will be able to use it? Now? Anybody has used Nagios before, or it is new for everyone? If it is new, type in on the chat. Oh, for most of you, it is new. So it's a good start for you to understand. Once you understand it, and you'll be able to work on for it, right? So this is your website, https://nagios.org. I showed you about this GUI, the web interface, right? This thing you need to understand very importantly. All right. I told you, right? It is red, green, or yellow. When a soft, there are two states of Nagios. One is hard and soft, right? Soft is raised by many times. Hard alert is raised, then Nagios server sends a notification to your administrator. When it's a hard alert, there are two types of alert Nagios has got, right? And here you see it is up. If it is down, 0. If it is down, it will be 1, and up will be 0. All right. All problems, all types, right? So unreachable, 0, right? Which means it is reachable, pending. And service, if it is okay, it is 6. All right. If it is warning, then this will be plugged on, unknown, critical, or pending. That's what you can see. Warning, critical, right? I showed you, sorry, I showed you onto the monitoring UI, right? The web UI. Any doubts till now? Any doubts? Able to understand what is Nagios? Thank you. Now, how many of you have used Ubuntu operating system? Ubuntu operating system. Yes, no. Ubuntu operating system. Is Sheikh says yes. What about others? Right? I am going to show you the different steps where you can install a Nagios using Ubuntu, right? Using Ubuntu. So in the first step, as I said yesterday, it is sudo apt get update of, right. We have to install the essential packages for Apache and PHP, right, which is required. So first, you have to update this, and this is how you get your. After it is getting updated, you need to get build essentials of OpenSSL, because you'll be connecting with your remote machine using SSL, right? You'll be connecting with the remote machine using SSL, unzip OpenSSL, libSSL, and then Apache and PHPs, right? So these are the next two steps, right? You will be installing this, you will be running this command in your terminal. You'll be using it in your terminals, right? Step 2, you have to create a new user group, right? If you have used Hadoop, you'll be using it, right? Same way here, you'll be using a new user group, and that user group is called as Nagios. All right, it is called Nagios, right? Using Nagios, and that sudo add user. So when you use sudo add user Nagios, when you log in Ubuntu, there will be different, like when I do it for Hadoop, it will be like Hadoop. For Nagios, you will have a user kind as Nagios to log in, and then you create a user, add a new user Nagios, and then we have to create a group for the user, like you have WhatsApp group, right? First you create your WhatsApp and then put a group and invite others into that, right? So the same way here, you create a new group and add this new user Nagios to that group. So sudo group add nag command, right? And then sudo user mode, I'm giving all modes, right? Read, write, execute, ag, and Nagios, this user I'm adding into this, and I'm giving the privileges, right? What are the privileges that I'm going to give to the user? All right. Step 3, you have to download the latest package from I showed you, right? Nagios Core official website, where you can download. Remember this? Do you remember this? Downloads, right? If I click download, I get Nagios Core, right? Complete infrastructure monitoring. This is Nagios 11 and Nagios Core, right? So Nagios 11 is a built-in web configuration GUI. It is more easier to manage than your core, right? So whatever it is that you want, you can download it, right? If I click on downloads, you get like this, right? And I'm not a robot, you can give and you can download. So you can see how it is. Once Nagios 11 is installed, it's total infrastructure, right? It's up, or is anything is down with IP address. All right. See how many systems at one time they're able to monitor, and also not only it's showing error, how to use Nagios Fusion to recover from the error too, right? And it also can send via email, SMS, or Microsoft Teams that you're using, right? Extensible architecture, multi-tenant, and what are the features of it? And you can see even this year they've updated. This is pricing, whereas Nagios score, it is not pricing, right? It is not pricing. So let's see how Nagios score you download it, and we will change the directory to opt cd to opt, right? Cd to opt. All right. And now I can also download from this releases, right? The releases, and it will be like a tar file. Now I'm going to extract my tar file using this, right? This I've given example of wget is from webget. You get it directly from webget, you get it, right? If your system is connected with the internet and it is alive, then you'll be able to download this, right? The different releases also you can see. Nagios 4 releases. All right. Any doubts? So this is how you will be downloading it and using it, right? You'll be downloading it and you'll be using it and getting it and untarring it. After extracting whatever you have downloaded, you'll be extracted will be into this folder, right? After extracting, changing the directory to Nagios 4.4.5. But now the latest version would have been changed. Okay, the current version that you can use it, right? The current version of it also you can use it. And you can see the version histories, right? You can see the version histories. I'll show you. The current version is 11, 16.11 is 4.5. 4.5 is an Nagios score, right? But what I have given here is 4.4.5, right? And now it is 4.5. You can see all the version histories of it, right? What it has been done. And after that, you have to run the given command for compiling Nagios from source code sudo dot slash configure with the command group. What is my? You remember we made a user group. You remember it? We created Nagios and we created a user group. In that, you have to compile it, right? You need to compile Nagios from the source code. So once you have installed it, you make it sudo make all, then make install, make init, the daemon, and then config and command mode and exploration. These are the next 7 steps to be executed. After successful execution of all these commands, you'll get a copy of the script, right? Under libexe directory. Now you see you have to copy from libexe to this, right? Event handlers. And what is zero chown? You're giving the read write command. You should have learned an operating system. A 777 read, write and execute, right? Read, write and execute. 777 is you're giving all kind of facilities for this new user group, right? And it has been copied from libex to event handlers, and it has been given the execution task so that it will be able to execute all the components that has been given to it, right? And step 4, you need to set up an authentic gateway for preventing unwanted users, right, into Nagios. So that we create a config. You remember in the starting we installed Apache and PHP. Yes, and using the same, you have to create the configuration file for Apache using sudo nanos. You give the option for them to etc Apache config and Nagios config. When it is opened, right, when that configuration file opens, you need to copy and paste this command, right, inside nagios dot config, right, in nagios dot config. So this is what this is general step, right, to be updated onto your configuration file. And now you need to set up the authentication gateway, right? So sudo ht password and user local Nagios HD password dot user Nagios admin. Right. Once this command is done, make the Nagios admin as your user default user by executing this command. And now you have to enable the configuration of Apache and restart Apache server. So for that, these are the three commands to be executed, right? And then here you give, as after you CGI, you remember the common gateway interface rewrite and Nagios, and here you restart your server, Apache server. In step 5, after installing all the Nagios core services, we have to download and install the plugins, right? First, we have to download and install the plugins. You remember seeing the plugins on Nagios website? Nagios core, Nagios plugins, right? There's got so many plugins. So you and also shown you one example of how NS clients and client plus plus able to connect between your from your server to your remote Windows machines, right? And you have to download the plugins, right? What is the latest plugin version? We have to check it over here, right? Here you can check it, right? Again, 1611, the latest plugin is here. This is your tar file of different plugins. If you click it on, you'll be able to download it, right? You'll be able to download it. All right, and that plugin you can download. Now it is 2.4.7. When I downloaded it is 2.2.1. And again I'm untarring from web. I'm getting it. First I've taken Nagios core. Listen carefully. We have taken Nagios core, downloaded and did the setup and configuration and made the Apache and made an authentic gateway, right? Now we go into the plugins, and again I'm setting compiling all the installation using sudo dot slash configure with Nagios user. That it was Nagios admin, here user Nagios. Remember, starting we created add user Nagios with the group with OpenSSL and make all, right, on the terminal. Now we have to verify the installation and configuration of Nagios. So sudo user local Nagios bin, right, and from other configuration files, right? Already we have to put onto it. And here I find to start my Nagios services, service Nagios start. Now enable for the system to automatically book sudo system CTL enable Nagios. All right. And the seventh step, this is the last step. Here, we want to have a web interface of Nagios. You remember, first is your scheduler, which is Nagios core. On the right, we have different plugins. On the left, we had my UI, right? So, if you're using IP address, if you don't know the IP address, you can check ifconfig. All these installation are for Ubuntu operating system. Listen carefully, it is for Ubuntu operating system. Then it will give like this, right? From here, from ifconfig, you can find your IP address and find installation of how it has been installed and what are the different clients it has been connected. And we have to type this IP address slash Nagios on your URL, right? After pressing, it will take you to Apache authentication with the username and password. So next step is your Nagios username, right? You remember when starting we created a user, right? So once Nagios core is downloaded installed, Nagios plugins are installed, the web UI is installed using Apache, then you connect using you have to find your IP address, right? So slash Nagios, it will ask Nagios admin, and you give the username and password, right? You give the username and password. All right. And after successful login, you'll get the Nagios core page. Can you see here? That is the first thing that you have installed, right? Now let's see how it is installed on Ubuntu 22.04. Hope my screen is seen. My slide screen are seen. Yeah, yeah. Now listen, everybody look on to this. So you get it, W using wget. Using wget, you get it. This is how it is downloaded. You can see on localhost/nagios. Group users. I'm adding Nagios to the group. I showed you the 6, 7 commands, right? Each commands one by one it is executed. Restarting Apache. Wget, and then I'm untarring my file. On the now Nagios core is done. Now we are into Nagios plugin. Installing, compiling. Make install. Once that is done, you get the IP address and Nagios. You get the web UI, the admin user, and the password. This is how it has been installed. Whatever I told in step by step. All right. Have you seen through the video? Able to get how it works? Okay. So now let's see into the different case studies, how it is used in the real-time industry, right? BitNext is an IT consultation organization which is into networking, data centers, monitoring, and voice over IP. All right. And here, what they use, they manage their customer relationship by having more and more infrastructures, right? And the right message to the customer at the right time is very important, right? Say for example, when I need to get updated or upgraded, right? If there is an error and it has to be intimated properly, so they are working with customer who are into email marketing, right? So they used AWS, right? Amazon Web Service, and which dynamically delivers thousands of emails. And for their monitoring purpose, they were using Nagios Core. Now they moved to new Nagios 11, right? I showed it, right, which has got all the features onto the website. And there were challenges in moving live status configuration from core to this, but they're able to set up with integrated one, where they were able to move all their customers from Nagios core to Nagios 11 with, this is very important, with zero downtime, right? And they integrated with PagerDuty for sending instance notification at Bitnetics, right? And this is how you can install Nagios at AWS. Right, steps on, you have to subscribe to Nagios and keep continuing, right? In AWS, Amazon Web Services, and then just you click read and then give add, and you'll be getting the subscription. You have to go and update on it, and then continue to configuration, right? And what is the softwares that you need in a cloud, Amazon cloud, you have to figure it out and then continue to launch. and you launch the services, right? And an instance ID will be created, and which available zone, and the DNS details, and you have to convert this PM to PPK, right? PM to using PuTTY, and you enter the public DNS and enter the PPK here, right? And here you see you enter your login name as an Ubuntu and run your commands. You remember we did step by step there, right? And enter a new password, and this that is installing Nagios in Ubuntu. This is installing Nagios in AWS, right? And you get this link, right, where it works with Nagios admin. Then you get your UI of your Nagios. Able to get it? Yes. But in the AWS, it is pretty easy, right? It is pretty easy because the entire bundle is inside your AWS. You have to launch it, you have to configure, subscribe to it, and eventually you'll be able to make it. Any doubts till now in installation of Nagios? We started how Nagios will be done, and now we started with how it has been installed. Any questions? Any questions? Any doubts? No answers? Are you all there? Yes, no? Any doubts? No, thank you, Sheikh. What about others? Are there or not? Thank you, Hansika, Rashmi, Goro. So this is how, if you're having, anybody has got Amazon Web Services login credentials? Amazon, AWS? No? Right? And also certifications is also very important for students, right? Like you've got your degree certificates, if you're going into the industry, right? Certifications, right? And Amazon or Azure or DevOps, there are different authorized certifications available for DevOps, right? Which is essential, right? Which is essential, and you can see on to the different popular demanding courses, right? I can share that with you. Um, so yesterday you saw we were seeing about Kubernetes, right? So certified Kubernetes administrator, right? And then Kubernetes application developer, security specialist, and then cloud native, and also this is top five. AWS certified DevOps engineer professional, right? How can you test and deploy AWS on AWS, right? And certified Kubernetes administrator. Docker from Jenkins, we saw about how to do it on Dockers, right? Docker certified associate. Puppet, I showed you, right? Puppet today. And Microsoft certified DevOps engineer. Okay, you can choose anyone. And this I'm telling you, sharing it with you for a long focus, right? If you are very sure that you want to get into industry more than your college degree, the certification, if say for example at the final round there are 2 to 3 people who have been shortlisted, if you have got a proper certification, then you will be handpicked for the job, right? Because you have learned a course core on hands-on, right? Core on hands-on. And these are the features. It's relatively scalable, very good database system that you have seen, attractive web interfaces, and it has been changed in every month. See, today we have seen 16th November, it has been upgraded, sends messages. If condition changes, it detects networks errors. All right. It detects all kinds of errors, either from the server or from the system, and so much and so on, right? And It monitors your infrastructure, that's I said, monitors and troubleshoots, right, your server. And it can automatically fix problems in panic situations, right? Uh, that's one of the greatest takeaway. And it can detect split second failures, right? A split second in the intermediate changes. It reduces the maintenance cost, and it gets rid of periodic testing because it uses RRD, right? RRD. And Wipro uses, right? And IBM, the biggest advantage of customizing, making customization, firmware, right? Deep monitoring tools, BT. It's the only software that was able to announce the shell. It Everwatch Global. This company is also using, right? It's consulting to non-profits, and they have recognized field in IT monitoring. They're working with Nagios. Another business, if ever, their business is to monitor online stores for e-commerce retailer. Either it is B2B or B2C or something like that, right? And they're able to monitor it, right? Everwatch, right? New Jersey, here it is more than 500 miles away from their consultants. But with their firewall restrictions and their Nagios server, they're able to do so many things. So they had an SSH to their network operating system. So they were analyzing for web pages, they are analyzing the systems wherever they are. See, if you take Amazon, so many systems, so many mobiles are using, right? And how it has been monitored also uses Nagios, right? And Bitnex, I already told you. And different case studies, different companies that use the different disadvantages are what's not available. It's only available in Nagios 11. It's quite expensive, but Nagios Core, you don't have a good web UI, right? You don't have a good web UI. It can't monitor network throughput, right? And that's the difference, right? And you can use it on network servers and so much and so more. It uses continuous monitoring, right? Continuous monitoring, responding to clients, and it detects this already I told. And Nagios is a process. Continuing process is a process to detect, report, respond, and all attacks which occurs. It's free software. Nagios Core, whereas Nagios 11 is paid, is effective in monitoring. He used this idea to begin a new application. I said it's relatively scalable, manageable. That with zero failure time, it was able to move from Nagios Core to Nagios 11. The architecture, you have got web UI and then Nagios server and plugins, right? So this is all about, and I hope the session would have been useful. Did you learn something new on Nagios? All right. Yeah, this is. Let me. It's still uploading. All right. Let me share what we do in CIRF. Right. In the introduction, I was into teaching for a decade, then moved into CIRF. It stands for Computational Intelligence Research Foundation. It's a Section 8 company. We have registered under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. We are 12A and NGO DARPAN certified company. All right. Our main vision of our company is to contribute to nation building through innovative mentoring and research driven transformation. Innovation is creativity, right? It's more on creativity and commercialization. And here we work on four pillars at CIRF. One is research, development, education, and training. For the student sector, this year we have trained 300 plus interns, right? 300 plus interns on the domains on majorly on data sciences, right? Data science internships we provide both online and offline, and we provide workshops, hands-on session, everything on different training domains, right? That I will share. So I'm one of the director, and basically I'm a data scientist and keynote speaker, and I've got 30 plus publications, and goodwill ambassador for Plastic Free Tamil Nadu. Dr. C.R. Nirapan is the director. He's working as professor dean at Sri Sairam, and he's a research supervisor at Anna University, and he's also the Goodwill ambassador for Plastic Free Tamil Nadu movement. So kindly avoid using single use of plastics, right? So our objective, I said, right, we provide research focused on providing learning and development and research outsourcing services to students, researchers, and institutions, right? For students, we train on latest technology, right? For researchers, one-to-one guidance from ideation to publication of paper. And for institutions, we are like trusted partners on training and making students job ready. So all the sessions will be on hands-on. Even internship students, when they come, either it's 15 days or 30 days or 3 months or 6 months, right? All the students will be working on with the project with the hands-on session train. They make a presentation and a report as you work it on a software company of your product, and then they are certified, right? And we have 7,000 plus students who have trained. As the demand is growing, we help in upskilling students, hands-on projects, and career guidance, right? Training, hands-on projects, and career guidance. And data science, these are trainings in data science, analytics, web development, digital education, machine learning, cybersecurity forensics, LaTeX. LaTeX is document preparation for your journal publication or conference, deep learning tools, knowledge management, and blockchain technology. For researchers, we have 50 plus researchers guided on publication, patent filing, and project. These are the areas of research that we work out: cloud computing, data visualization, AI based, bio inspired predictive modeling, data clustering, and so much and so more. We have worked with 200 plus institutions, and as a training partner, research partner, and center of excellence. Some of the institutions that we have worked on with, and months in 2 months, we are available to the marginalized. We provide bed sheets this December, also last November also we provide bed sheets to people who live on the road, and distribute food and our food, dresses, and water bottles, especially to people who live on the roads. So this we do it as a service. And any questions? So let's play the game. Yeah, cirf.co.in. I'll put it on. All right, and let's play the Minty game. I'll give the link on the chat for you all to join. Click the link and join. Okay, two people have joined. Yesterday, who was the winner? Vaishnavi was the winner. I don't know, Vaishnavi is here today. Yeah, yeah. Couldn't hear you yesterday. All right, let's see who will be the winner for today. Good. I have 25. Can we start? Only six of you have joined. Yeah, yeah. Join quick. Yes, shall I start? Others could join. The link is given. What was the original name of Nagios? Seven of you have given the right answer. Let's see who's on the first place. Ansika is in the first place. Congratulations. Second is Rashmi. Third is Mars. I think they've not given the name. Let's move on to the second question of the day. In which year Nagios was developed and by whom? (1999) by Ethan, right? By Ethan. Hansika, Rashmi, and same persons. Let's move on to the third question for the day. In 2012, Nagios was renamed as 2012. How it was renamed? Everyone has sorted. It is Nagios score. Good. Who's Mars? You can give your name on the chat. Hansika. Huh? Who's Mars? You are Sheikha. Okay, okay. And Hansika's on the first place, Rashmi on the second place, Ankita on the third place. Congratulations. Rashmi was the fastest. Let's move on to the fourth question. The server part of Nagios system is called. It's a client server architecture. What is the server part called as? All four, four, four. The server is the scheduler. Remember, right side plugin is your client, right side, and the left we had the GUI, the web view. Hansika, Rashmi, Amrut, and Rishi has given the right answer. Hansika is on the first place, second is Rashmi, third is Amrut. The final question that is going to define who's the winner of the day. Which is an automated process that leverages specialized software tools to empower DevOps teams. Monitoring, analyzing, observability. All right, it's continuous monitoring. Let's see who's the winner. Hansika is the winner. Congratulations, Hansika. Can you share what was your experience?
Insightful for me.
Okay, good. Thank you. Um, Others?
It was really good, ma'am. We had a good time in learning these new topics and got a good ideas.
So these 3 days we are focusing on Ansible, Jenkins, and Nagios. All right,
Yes.
and you can share your reviews on Google Review. All right, how was the session? What was the key takeaways? And you can find us on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. and I can share. You can click on YouTube subscribe. You can subscribe to my channel. All these 2 days sessions are being live streamed. So furthermore, if you've got doubts onto it, you can use it, right? You can subscribe to the channel, and almost all the talks what I give, I put it on to the channel so that it will be easy for you to find it out, right? And you can follow me on LinkedIn for and Facebook, Instagram, and our company's Instagram is CIRF Chennai. All right, and thank you so much. And if you want further details, you can make a note of it, right? My mobile number, email, oops, I changed the mail ID. That's full. I use almost 12 mail IDs every day. So this is getting full. All right. Hope the session would have been useful. You can give your reviews on Google reviews so that yesterday I got it from 3%. What was your personal takeaways of these 2 day session? Thank you. Over to you.
Speak, Mike, ma'am. Mike.
I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Doreen Robinna
Well,
for conducting an enlightening webinar streaming knowledge. Her expertise has provided us a valuable insight and appreciative dedication to enhancing our understanding of this IT process. Thank you so much. Thank you once again for accepting the invitation and innovating this new infrastructure. Thank you.
welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, Veena ma'am.
Thank you so much, man. We
Welcome.
look forward to connect you in future.
Sure, sure. Thank you all.
Sure,
God bless. Bye bye.
sure, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. We would collaborate soon and would like to connect many more.
Sure, we'll have.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Well, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you guys for joining.